as we head into your Saturday morning. So that morning jog looks to be a go, although the roads might be a little bit damp out there, the streets. In terms of what we have right now around Lawrenceville, Atlanta, now we're starting to dry things out a bit. So you are getting a break in the action, but remember, it's going to come back. So when you have a break, take it, do what you got to do, because we will start to see more of that rain coming back in as we go in through the rest of today. So around 1 o'clock, Atlanta, you look to be wet again. So what you're going to need to do is keep that rain gear handy, keep it right there so you can grab it and you can dash in where you need to do and get what needs to be done, because you are going to be wet if you do not have that rain gear. Over to you, Jordan.
Well, the heat is on for places.
Stay weather aware for sure. Thanks to our virtual view technology, I'm transported to Chicago's Olive Park. I hope you enjoyed the sun and record high of 83 degrees yesterday, because the rain is moving in and that's going to cool things off. Make sure you do have that jacket if you're going to be headed to the ballpark. You have the White Sox. They're going to be hosting the Orioles for a weekend series. After the rain, you're going to have those temperatures that are going to drop, and there is a possibility of some snow on Monday. Barely 20 inches of snow for Chicago for this season. That's about half their average. But I tell you, it's very tranquil, looks really good for sure. But the bottom line is the fact that Chicago, you're going to be dealing with a whole lot of stuff over the next several days here. So stay with me. So on your Saturday, we're going to have high temperatures that will be in the mid 80s. We'll take that. Sun clouds may be a little bit too warm for you, but just wait if you don't like that. We're going to head into your Sunday, where temperatures will drop off a bit. We're looking at numbers in the mid 60s, but we do have some thunderstorms, some rain in the forecast. And if you're not happy with that, okay, let's go on to your Sunday night, where we do have some rain and some snow, and we have temperatures that are going to be in the mid 30s. So from 82 to 36, woo! I'm spinning, not quite sure if you are, but we can see what's going on right now across the plains, the Dakotas, some showers, some thunderstorms, and then we can see some snow back off towards the Four Corners there around Colorado. You're going to continue to monitor some of the cold out there, because we do have this boundary. Ahead of the boundary, we're going to pull in plenty of moisture, warmth out there as well. But on the backside, yeah, we could see a little bit of snow coming in across the area. Ahead of that front, that's where we could see some thunderstorms. Behind it, that's when we could see some totals adding up. Again, back off towards Colorado, Aspen, you can see in the mountains up to maybe a foot there. And then around Duluth, around Marquette, possibly maybe 5 to 8 inches of more snow, Jordan.
And to the south, where it's been a bit...
Be okay. Yes, some areas will be okay, that's for sure, as we are dry, but we are going to be watching some areas that are not so okay. So we're going to have to continue to monitor what's going to be going on as we move throughout the day. So we will have some delays, some impacts because of the weather out there. Miami and Charlotte, definitely one of those places that we will be dealing with some delays as we look at, we're in the yellows, but JFK looking good. We're seeing that around DFW and also around Seattle. We do have the green light. It's a go for now. Now, as we continue through the rest of today, again, big changes are in store. We start you out at Fort Lauderdale, the airport here, and we can see once again it's closed. Why is it closed? Because we've had so much rain across this area, terrible flooding yesterday, the day before that. So that's going to be the current status as of there. Make sure you keep it tuned here. We're going to keep you updated on everything we know. What we know now is that we do have some impacts around Atlanta's airport. We're seeing this down off towards Miami. More of the same in Raleigh as well, as we do have the yellows out there. And on the roads, you're going to be impacted for today as well, where you're seeing that swath of beige from Charlotte, Columbia, Florence, all in this around Raleigh. We could see some strong severe thunderstorms across this area. So travel on the roadways not going to be the best as we continue through time. As we go into your tomorrow, once again, the system works its way and the rain off towards the mid-Atlantic. So this is where it's going to be posing a problem. You might want to call ahead for you tomorrow if you do have that airplane out and maybe possibly maybe even in. And the roadways as we go into tomorrow, more of the same. We are going to be dealing with the showers and the thunderstorms and possibly maybe some snow in the cooler air. Jordan?
Well, you get this thing out today, Lynette, so Saturday we could have a nice day to get outdoors.
Exactly. So just up and down it goes temperature-wise, systems coming through,
right.
Plenty of moisture out there for sure, Jordan. It's a bit breezy out there as well. Once that cold front passes, it's going to still be breezy and temperature is much colder. Remember I told you we'll be in the upper 50s. The upper 50s 50 is going to feel a little bit chillier than that with those winds out of the northwest. That fropa will be through. Look at all the moisture that we're seeing across the area back off towards the west. We can see this moving into the middle of the nation as well. This is going to be the name of the game right in through the next several days. We can see that spin, if you will, or that trough just really digging, and it's right over the areas where we do have the potential for some strong and severe thunderstorms as we head in through today. So just to be aware of this, again, this is going to be a day where you do want to keep your eye to the sky out there. We are going to be dealing with a damaging gusty wind and also some large hail. We do have in spots where that hail could be 2 inches or greater. So hen's egg, that's how big some of that hail will be out there. We also look towards tomorrow, and this is where we will be seeing likely that we could see some thunderstorms, some of those strong and severe. And with this one, we could see possibly maybe some tornadoes. Keep your eye to the sky. Make sure you know where you'll go if that does come to fruition. Goes into motion, and we can see that we will have plenty of energy with these thunderstorms. For us today as we get out there on the roads. I need you to be safe, be careful, because we are going to be running into some wet weather for sure. So be aware and be cognizant of what's going to be happening, as we will need the rain gear. We will need both hands on the steering wheel for sure. We can see what's going on. The interstates not looking that great in some spots. So we can see what's happening around Blairsville. So 85 if you head on up towards Greenville, more of the same. 77, 74, 40 around Fayetteville. This is where we are going to be dealing with plenty of rain. I will say there will be some dry times out there, but where you're seeing the rain, again, 40 Greensboro, 77. We're seeing this around Charlotte too as we go throughout the day. So again, where you're seeing some of the green, that's where we're dealing with the wet roads. And speaking of the wet roads, well, it's looking pretty good now. Finally, around Florida, we're looking at the peninsula on the drier side, maybe a few spotty showers around Daytona Beach, but all in all, much drier than what we've been seeing the past several days. The forecast for today, though, we will have, again, more rounds of some heavy rain out there. We will have some lightning, some gusty winds, and that's why I say make sure you keep both of your hands on the steering wheel for today. Right now, though, things looking good around Fort Lauderdale, Miami. You're on the drier side, but as we go through the rest of this morning, dry. Temperatures look great as well. Numbers in the 80s, a mix of sun and clouds. By the afternoon, that lunchtime, if you want to be out there, be outside, have that lunch with your friends, looking good in Boca, Fort Lauderdale, also Weston. And then by the evening, that's when things change. That's when we'll start to get some of those showers and thunderstorms back into the picture for us. From Miami to Fort Lauderdale, up towards Weston and over towards Boca. Tomorrow, we're looking once again that we could need to call ahead for some of those airports, because where you're seeing the yellows and the reds, that's where we will have high and moderate impacts. Kelly? We're not quite out of the woods in terms of the snow. So hopefully at this point you have to be a snow lover to keep getting the snow and appreciate it. This is what we have in terms of that forecast for you in Duluth. On your Saturday, we will not be warm enough for the snow. We'll be warm enough for some rain, some chilly rain out there at the temperatures in the mid 40s. But by the nighttime on your Saturday, oh yeah, those temperatures are going to dip down. It'll be cold enough for some snow in the low 30s there, rain snow mix happening. And then we'll see some snow as we go into your Sunday, mixing with some windy conditions too. So we do show you what's going on right now across the Dakotas. We're looking at some rain, but back down off towards the south, we're looking at this around Colorado, just to the north and west of Denver at this point, dealing with some snow coming in across that area. This cold front, this is definitely going to be the culprit of us drawing some colder air in on the backside of this area of low pressure and this cold front in tow. It will be limited snow, I will say, because it's going to be limited cold air, but ahead of that front, yeah, that's when we're going to surge in. Plenty of moisture out there for sure, and possibly some thunderstorms. But in terms of that snow, not a whole lot of it. But when we're talking about Duluth, we could see possibly maybe 5 to 8 inches before it's all said and done. So that is something to add to that total for sure. Timing this out for you as we move in through your Saturday morning. Minneapolis, we can look at some rain. Again, not cold enough for the snow quite yet, but then finally that cold air will start to wrap in as we head into your Sunday morning. Possibly heading out to church services, you could be dealing with some of that snow around Minneapolis, around Des Moines as well. As we go into your Monday, Marquette, Green Bay, Chicago, you're going to be picking up on this as well. So not out of the woods quite yet. It won't be until maybe Tuesday that will really start to dry out from some of that snow. But remember, we're also going to be dealing with the rain. Speaking of the rain, tonight right through Tuesday, we could see most places up to about an inch, but that swath back off there towards the upper Midwest around the Great Lakes, we could see possibly maybe 1 to 2 inches. Jordan?
Well, it was active yesterday.
We're going to need to keep the rain gear handy across the area, Northeast, Mid-Atlantic. Atlantic, seeing it all. Let's time this out for you as we go through the rest of today. We're going to start to see some changes in the forecast because where you're dry right now, it's not going to stay that way. So, for instance, we can see what's happening to the north of Raleigh and around Raleigh. Right now, you're on the drier side of things, but Fayetteville, you're on the wet side, dealing with some thunderstorms, some lightning coming in across that area. All this is going to surge on off towards the north. So, before it's all said and done, Raleigh, yeah, you will need that rain gear. We're seeing this around Chapel Hill. We timed this out around 1 o'clock this afternoon, and we could see that activity. So this is going to be a day where you do need to stay weather aware out there and just be aware of what's going on over towards Greensboro around 6 o'clock. So your commute home from work today is going to be on the slick side, the wet side, the stormy side of things. We're seeing even more thunderstorms trying to develop as we go into 9 o'clock. Some heavy rain really coming in with some of these thunderstorms as well. In terms of getting a break, well, yeah, you'll get that as you go into your Saturday morning, nice and dry across this area. And we're going to continue to monitor what's happening around Atlanta for today. For right now, we're on the dry side. But again, as the day goes on, we will start to see some activity bubbling up more as we go into the afternoon. So if you did have those afternoon plans thinking, oh, I'll get with my ladies and we're going to go maybe sit outside and have a little bit of lunch. No, you might want to rethink that as we will have the activity around Atlanta at that point. Pushing out of the area, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, looking pretty good. And then what happens as we go into your tomorrow will dry out even more. In terms of sliding over towards Charlotte, we can see what's happening here right now, dealing with a few spotty showers out there. And as the day progresses around Concord, we're going to be dealing with some activity around 3 o'clock. And then Charlotte, you're going to get hit again with some showers and some thunderstorms coming in across the area. So again, no matter where you are, if you're on the dry side right now, have the rain gear handy because you will need it a little bit later today. Jordan?
Well, the heat's turned on.
Thanks to our virtual view technology, I'm transported to Chicago's Olive Park. I hope you enjoyed the sun and the record high of 83 degrees yesterday because the rain, oh yeah, it's moving in around Chicago. It's going to cool things off. Don't forget to bring that jacket if you are going to be headed to the ballpark. The White Sox, they're hosting the O's for a weekend series. So you have the rain, but yeah, we're going to change to snow as well. The temperatures are going to continue to drop. So on Monday, we could see that snow, barely 20 inches of snow for Chicago this season. That's about half their average. I will say this is much calmer as we will continue to add up those snowfall totals for sure, and we're going to have it all. So I'm going to have you buckle in right now. We're going to strap in, and with this, hold on, because on your Saturday, we're going to be in the mid-80s. We're going to have a mix of sun and clouds. By your Saturday night, temperatures are going to dip down into the upper 50s with some thunderstorms in the forecast. We'll be in the low 60s on your Sunday with some rain, and then by your Sunday night, we will dip into the mid-30s, and we will have a mix of rain and snow. So, yeah, we're getting a little bit of everything before it's all said and done. Right now, we can see some showers moving through around Bismarck, around Rapid City right at this point, and then back off towards Denver, just to the west of it, dealing with a little bit of snow. So, again, a little bit of everything. As we move through time, we're going to watch this cold front. Ahead of the front, we're going to pull in plenty of moisture. Behind it, oh, yeah, we're going to have some temperatures cold enough for some snow. It will be limited cold air, though, so just be aware of that. The limited cold air, not a whole lot around Billings, down off through Casper, where you're seeing some of the purples. We could see that around Aspen, and then once again, as we head on up towards Duluth, around Marquette, possibly maybe about 5 to 8 inches before it's all said and done there. And Chicago, you will have some rain, you will have some snow out there, and we can see what's happening on your Saturday. Minneapolis, Des Moines, we will start you out with the rain, but on the backside of it, we will end up with a little bit of snow. Jordan?
On the south side of this, too.
With some delays because we do have some weather out there, but some spots going to be okay. Right now, we're okay from Seattle down off towards LAX, but look what happens as we go over towards Orlando. We are going to be dealing with some impacts that are going to be on the medium side of things. But remember, if you are going to be around Dallas, if Seattle, taking those air flights out, you are going to be okay at this point. But Miami, Charlotte, yes, you are going to have some delays, so just take that into consideration. Also, if you're going to be going off towards Fort Lauderdale, at least you think that's going to be happening. No, we are still looking at a closed airport. But with that said, they say that they're going to be the newest update. There could be some flights taking out, but just remember it's going to be a very long delay if that does happen. So for today, we can see yellows around Nashville, Jacksonville Airport as well. We're also going to be watching the roads that are going to be on the slick side, and we're going to have some problems here because we do have the potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms. That's going to be the name of the game. Jordan, Kelly?
Well, officials in Broward.
So everybody's going to get a little of something. The people that have a break right now, they're going to be getting wet pretty soon.
Indeed.
Exactly. So let's take you out to shore. So maybe you like change, and that's a good thing because you're always going to have change at some point. We can see plenty of moisture on the water vapor as of now, and we are going to continue to watch the spin, this nice big trough digging down, moving on off towards the east there. So really it's going to be focusing on this area for severe weather. As we continue through the rest of today, we do have that possibility. So we're looking at this from Wichita on up through Omaha, but also even where it extends out into the pink. So Mason City, don't sleep today because that's a possibility that you could see some strong to severe thunderstorms as well. We're going to be watching for hail. Of course, you have to get it up to about 1 inch for it to become severe, but we're also going to be watching maybe even higher than that. Not only will we have that, but we're going to be watching the fact that we could see some tornadoes for tomorrow. So we are going to be watching that Torcon is going to be possible too. So all in all, this is going to be a time where you do need to stay weather aware, keep your eye to the sky. We will have available energy, plenty of it for those thunderstorms to tap into and develop. You can see these thunderstorms continuing on your Friday into your Saturday as well. And before it's all said and done, you will see that line of showers and thunderstorms moving in here as we go in through 10 o'clock into Memphis. Out there because we do have the potential across the mid-Atlantic for some thunderstorms, and that's going to make travel a little bit on the difficult side of things. We will start to see some activity, some rain coming in, but right now rain not a whole lot in the peninsula of Florida. That's some good news because they've been dealing with that flooding out there, but as we go throughout the day, we will see some more scattered showers and thunderstorms trying to work their way back in here. Gusty winds, lightning also a possibility, and the rain will be heavy at times. So along 4, along 85, it's going to be a rough go of it. So we have some good news with the Fort Lauderdale airport. It is going to be reopening. So again, that's some good news, but there will be some delays out there with that reopening, some long delays. So be aware of that. In terms of what we're getting right now, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, we're looking at this towards Cutler Bay, West Palm Beach on the dry side. So we can see this morning dry, temperatures close to 80 degrees. As we go into midday, temperatures in the mid 80s, and then we're going to start to funnel in from the south to the north, the more activity. So by the time you hit this evening, that's when everybody Weston around Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Boca is definitely going to be dealing with some showers and some thunderstorms. Kelly and Jordan. Excellent. Lots of snow, and we do have more snow on the way. So you can determine whether that's yay or nay, boo. But we do have it. We have temperatures on your Saturday that are going to be in the mid-40s, so we will have some rain. But you know what? We're going to go colder, and we will be cold enough to support some snow as we go into your Saturday night. And then by Sunday, full-blown snow, and the wind will be out there as well. So it is going to be cold as we go through time. Speaking of the cold, we can see that snow down off towards the south around Denver, and then a little bit warmer as we head off towards the plains, the Dakotas. They're dealing with plain rain across that area. Look what happens. So we do have this cold front, area of low pressure, and the attached cold front. Behind that front, that's where we could wrap in a little bit of cold air. Ahead of it, we've been dealing with plenty of warm conditions, and we could see some thunderstorms. But we will have limited cold air, so that's why you're not seeing all the blues in a lot of spots or a lot of purples. But we do have some purples, once again, back there off towards Colorado, and more of the same up towards Duluth around Marquette before it's all said and done, possibly maybe 5 to 8 inches of snow. Putting this into motion, and yes, it is April. We are talking about April snow once again. We're going to start you out with that rain on the backside. Minneapolis, Des Moines, you'll wrap up with some snow, a little bit of a mixing going on there. And as we go into your Sunday, we're going to see more of the same. And then by Monday, we're hitting now around Marquette, around Green Bay, around Chicago. So Chicago, yeah, you were in the rain, but again on the backside, before it's all said and done, we will be talking about some snow. Jordan.
Golly, starting